I stepped into the community center, my chest tight with a mix of excitement and nerves, only to be met with a wave of whispers that prickled like needles against my skin. Muffled snickers bounced off the walls, each one a dagger aimed straight at my heart. Across the room, Diane stood, her so-called perfect smile stretched across her face, the kind that said she was untouchable and I was invisible. She tilted her head just slightly, enough for me to feel the weight of her smug superiority. Then I heard it. A neighbor, loud enough for the entire hall to catch. She really shouldn't even try. Look at her kid. My face burned, my cheeks stung, as judgmental eyes followed me and Ethan, my small hand gripping mine, completely unaware of the cruelty that lingered in the air. A friend tried to defend me, voice cracking under the pressure of the room's silent verdict. Their words didn't land. They bounced off like stones thrown into a stormy sea. Then Diane laughed. That laugh, sharp, cruel, echoing in my ears like a slap that I could feel against my chest. Someone leaned close just enough for me to catch their words. She's a failure as a parent. The statement wasn't just heard, it sank into me, twisting and tightening around my chest like a vice. The air itself seemed heavy, suffocating, pressing down with the weight of all those eyes, all that judgment. I walked out, each step trembling, my hands slick with sweat, the sting of humiliation burning deep into my core. Ethan sensed it, his small hand clutching mine tighter. Innocent trust and unwavering faith in me a balm against the cruelty surrounding us. I turned back just long enough to see their faces, frozen in smug satisfaction, convinced of my inadequacy. A neighbor's casual comment landed like a knife. Maybe some people just aren't cut out for this. I left the center, heartbeat hammering in my ears, mind spinning, a storm of shame, rage, and a quiet, burning determination building inside me. The evening light stretched long shadows across the street as I drove home, every whispered insult and every cruel laugh replaying in my mind, fueling something deeper, something that refused to be silenced. Ethan's small hand in mine grounded me, reminded me why I would not break. Not now, not ever. This humiliation, this judgment, it would be the spark that lit the fire of what was coming. Memories hit me like a tidal wave, pulling me back to my own childhood, days filled with being overlooked, misunderstood, and judged harshly by those who were supposed to care. I can still hear my mother's voice, sharp and dismissive, echoing in my ears. You're never good enough. Every insult, every doubt feels like it carved itself into my bones, a cruel mirror of what I face today. Ethan's birth had been a miracle, a tiny light I thought would change everything, yet society questioned my every move as a single parent. Late nights blurred together, rocking him to sleep, reading stories in the dim glow of a lamp, making sacrifices that no one noticed, no one acknowledged. Every decision weighed me down, yet I pressed on, silent and unseen. Money was always tight, forcing choices that should never have been mine to make alone. Every step was scrutinized, every misstep magnified. Old friends whispered behind my back, voices dripping with doubt. She'll never manage alone. And Diane? Diane's subtle jabs never stopped. Each smirk, each comparison between her child and mine was a reminder that my struggle was never respected. I remember my first PTA meeting like it happened yesterday. My ideas, my careful plans, my voice, it was all mocked. Teachers and parents alike doubted my intelligence, dismissed my efforts. The sting of betrayal cut deeper when I realized a close friend had sided with the critics, trading loyalty for social gain. I vowed silently, under my breath, and in the quiet of sleepless nights, that Ethan's future would prove them all wrong. Yet doubt lingered, gnawing at the edges of my resolve. I saw the contrast clearly. Diane's effortless charm, her carefully curated image versus my painstaking effort, unnoticed and unappreciated. It stung, and it fueled something darker, something stronger. I dug through old journals and letters, relics of triumph buried beneath layers of judgment. Memories of small victories surfaced. Ethan's first steps, his first words, the first day of school, all celebrated quietly by me, without applause, without recognition. And then I replayed his laugh in my mind, pure and untainted, and it reminded me why I endured, why I would continue, why I would fight. Every insult, every doubt, every sneer, I would turn them into fuel. Ethan's future was my reckoning, and I would see it through, no matter the cost. Diane didn't stop. She escalated, her social media filled with carefully crafted posts, each one a subtle jab wrapped in fake encouragement. Some parents just need to put in more effort, she wrote, tagging no one yet aiming directly at me. Her followers chimed in with laughing emojis and thinly veiled insults. I felt each one like a fresh bruise. At school drop-off, I noticed the shift immediately. Parents whispering behind coffee cups, their eyes darting between Ethan and Diane's child. Their comparisons were silent but sharp, slicing into me with every sideways glance. That evening, Ethan came home with worry clouding his small face. "Mom, why don't people like us?" His voice cracked and something inside me snapped. My protective instinct surged, a fierce heat rising in my chest, merging with a simmering rage I could no longer ignore. Friends told me to forget it, to let it go, to stay calm, but humiliation has a way of replaying itself uninvited over and over until it scorches every nerve. And Diane wasn't done. She began spreading rumors, boldly claiming my parenting was ineffective, whispering about my supposed failures as if she were discussing the weather. PTA meetings turned into silent battlegrounds. Every time I spoke, I felt eyes dissecting me, judging my tone, my ideas, my presence. Diane would tilt her head, offer a sugary smile, then suggest an alternative, framing me as unprepared. So I started documenting everything. Screenshots, messages, offhand comments. I saved every digital trace of her words and the community's reactions. Late nights became strategy sessions. I'd sit at the dining table with papers spread out, researching, planning, plotting how to let truth shine without stooping to her level. Meanwhile, Ethan kept winning small competitions, science fairs, spelling bees, local challenges, but every time, Diane found a way to dismiss them. "Cute effort," she'd say loudly, but real talent shows in bigger arenas. Her mockery burned, fueling a fire I couldn't contain. One afternoon, I confronted a neighbor who'd repeated her lies. They denied everything, eyes darting away, their nervousness confirming what I already knew. Their refusal to admit it didn't weaken me, it sharpened my resolve. My insecurities surfaced often, whispering old doubts, but I pushed them aside and channeled them into meticulous planning. Diane tried manipulating teachers, urging them to focus on more promising students, trying to downplay Ethan's achievements. I saw every move coming. I hired a tutor, then a mentor, quietly building a fortress around Ethan's growth. Behind the scenes, I gathered certificates, reports, proof of his rising excellence. Every file, every document felt like another brick in the foundation of what I was building. The tension in our neighborhood thickened day by day. Whispers turned into speculation. Parents grew curious, suspicious, restless. They didn't know it yet, but the ground beneath Diane's feet was already cracking because I wasn't just enduring anymore. I was preparing, and the moment of truth was coming. It was late when my phone rang, the screen flashing Ethan's mentor's name. My heart skipped as I answered, and the words hit me like lightning. Ethan was topping a statewide competition. Pride surged through me, wild and fierce, and a pulse of anticipation raced through every vein. I knew the moment for vindication was near. I began connecting the dots, uncovering Diane's hypocrisy. Her child's supposed achievements, flaunted so openly, were inflated, exaggerated to mask real failures. Every smile she had thrown my way, every subtle comment suddenly felt hollow, a facade crumbling under scrutiny. Friends reached out quietly, sharing stories I hadn't known, tales of Diane's manipulations, years of subtle sabotage, and whispered lies. Patterns emerged, clear and undeniable. My pulse quickened. I could see the path ahead, a way to publicly reclaim my dignity and give Ethan the recognition he deserved. The phone rang again, this time the local newspaper. They wanted a story on a rising star, a prodigy named Ethan, unaware of the drama that had been playing out behind closed doors. My mind raced. Timing, strategy, patience, everything had to align perfectly. I discovered a legal loophole that ensured Diane could not interfere with the upcoming award ceremony. Relief and triumph mingled in my chest. I spent hours rehearsing my composure, imagining the moment when humiliation would turn full circle, when the tables would finally tilt. Ethan practiced at home, confident and radiant, unaware of the storm building around him. His innocence struck me, and I realized then that revenge isn't cruelty. It's truth, revealed with undeniable impact. The mentor's advice echoed in my mind. Patience. Timing is everything. Every document, testimonial, and piece of evidence was prepared quietly, meticulously, like laying stones for the inevitable reveal. And then Diane did what she always does, posted a condescending comment online, perfectly unaware that she was baiting her own downfall. The community buzzed, tension mounting in the quietest corners. Whispers spread, eyes glanced, curiosity peaked. They didn't know it yet, but the tide was turning. I felt it in my bones. The perfect storm was about to break, and I would be ready. The day of the award arrived, and the auditorium hummed with anticipation, tension, and unspoken judgment. Every corner seemed to hold a whisper, every glance a silent assessment. Diane was there, smirking at me as if she still controlled the narrative, as if her facade was untouchable. I walked in with Ethan, calm, radiant, and focused, holding his small hand tightly. The warmth of his grip grounded me, reminding me why every sacrifice had been worth it. The announcer stepped to the podium and began reading accomplishments. Ethan's record unfolded. Flawless, undeniable, each word striking like a drumbeat of truth. Gasps rippled through the crowd as his achievements were revealed. State champion, published articles, recognition from every corner of the community. Diane's smug smile faltered, a flicker of disbelief crossing her carefully curated expression. Whispers spread behind her back. I didn't know? I stepped forward for a brief, gracious acknowledgement, letting Ethan bask fully in the spotlight. Teachers and mentors came forward, their praise public and unmistakable, reinforcing the truth of his accomplishments. Diane tried to interrupt, but the ceremony's protocols held firm. She was flustered, powerless in the face of undeniable evidence. Vindication washed over me, not through aggression, but through the undeniable weight of achievement. Parents who had mocked me, questioned my abilities, now stared in stunned silence, some avoiding eye contact entirely. Social media erupted instantly. Posts celebrating Ethan, photos of his accolades, comments exposing Diane's prior dishonesty. Every share, every like, another brick in the wall of truth. Ethan's face shone with pure joy. Completely unaware of the full arc of revenge unfolding around him, focused solely on his moment. I captured every reaction, the awe, the embarrassment, the sudden realization of those who had doubted us. Diane retreated, powerless, shrinking as the community witnessed truth triumph over lies. Friends and allies approached, their congratulations heartfelt, relief and pride washing over every nerve. In that moment, the humiliation, the doubt, the whispered insults, all of it evaporated, leaving only undeniable, radiant victory. I drive home with Ethan, the quiet hum of the engine matching the calm triumph settling over me. Relief fills every corner of the car. A heavy weight lifted, replaced by the sweet satisfaction of justice served. Diane avoids me entirely now, her carefully constructed power over the community shattered, her smirks nowhere to be found. Friends reach out, apologetic and supportive, bridging old divides and mending fractured relationships with words that carry warmth and sincerity. Ethan, sitting beside me, tilts his head with innocent curiosity. Mom, why were people mean? I take a deep breath and explain softly, quietly, about truth, patience, and the way persistence eventually reveals itself. Local media picks up the story, celebrating Ethan's talent and my unwavering dedication as a parent. Headlines highlight his achievements and the steadfastness that brought us here, turning whispers of doubt into waves of admiration. Later, I open my journal, pen in hand, and reflect on the journey. Humiliation transformed into victory, doubt converted into pride. Small moments like cooking dinner together, folding laundry, or helping with homework feel richer, sweeter than any public accolade. I forgive myself for every past insecurity, every sleepless night, every lingering doubt. Perseverance has been rewarded, and I see it clearly now. Diane's attempts at damage control fail, both publicly and privately, leaving her scrambling while truth holds firm. Community events no longer feel threatening. My reputation is restored, stronger than before, and doors that once closed are now open. I begin mentoring other parents facing judgment, sharing my story as a roadmap through the storm of criticism and doubt. Ethan's confidence soars, his innocence intact, unaffected by the shadows of drama that once loomed over him. I feel a deep sense of closure, the storm having passed, leaving only growth and resilience in its wake. And finally, I understand fully. Revenge isn't cruelty. It's the reclamation of dignity, the quiet but undeniable triumph of truth over falsehood. I face the camera, sunlight spilling through the living room windows, painting warmth across the space. Ethan plays quietly behind me, his laughter soft, innocent, completely unaware of the storm we weathered together. I begin to recount the journey, from the sting of public humiliation to the quiet, undeniable triumph that followed. Every insult, every whisper, every judgment that once weighed heavily now serves as proof of what perseverance can achieve. Being underestimated is not weakness, I explain. It is a chance to strategize, to plan, and to let patience shape your victory. Flashbacks cut through the narration, whispers in crowded rooms, late-night planning sessions, award day unfolding in slow motion, and the stunned reactions of those who doubted us. I share the lessons etched into every step of this path. Trust your instincts, document the truth, invest in your child's growth, and remain calm under pressure, even when the world seems stacked against you. Cruelty and judgment are temporary, I emphasize, but love, perseverance, and dedication endure. I encourage viewers to believe in themselves even when whispers and doubt seem deafening. Close-ups linger on Ethan's achievements, the astonished faces of the community, the smiles and applause, moments that affirm truth and hard work over empty words. True revenge, I reflect, is letting life and success speak louder than any insult, allowing victory to shine without malice, only undeniable evidence. I sign off, warmth in my voice. Protect your peace, nurture your dreams, and let your victories do the talking. The camera lingers as slow piano music rises, the scene fading on our quiet, victorious home, where triumph is measured in love, dignity, and the unwavering bond between a parent and child.